Theo Fleury in studio right now. You have a book out. This is why you're in Saskatoon.
Yes, new book called Conversation with a Rattlesnake. We'll be at McNally Robinson tonight from 5 to 8. So look forward to seeing everybody.
They come get the book signed. They meet you.
Yep,
they can
picture, whatever. Yeah.
This book, where did it come from? I know you're not new to the whole book thing.
No. When I wrote Playing with Fire in 2009, I didn't expect it to have the impact that it did, but obviously I was talking about something that was very commonplace in the world, and that was people who had suffered some childhood traumatic experiences in their life. And since that book came out, I had like over 500,000 people also reveal to me the same thing happened to them. And so I was looking to write another book and wanted to write another book because of the what an incredible experience was writing Playing with Fire, but I needed the right co-author to help me out with the book. And so I ran into a lady named Kim Barthel at a conference in Winnipeg, and sat in on one of her lectures and was absolutely blown away at the information that she was providing to the audience. And shortly after she was done, I basically went up to her and I said, "Hey, you," I said, "you just changed my life."
Wow.
I said, I think you'll be working with me for the rest of yours.
Wow.
And so I invited her to come to Calgary to spend the weekend with me, and we sat around my kitchen table, and we talked for 72 hours basically. Wow. And at the end of the conversation, I realized that there wasn't one thing I could have changed about my life to make it any different, which then took away all that shame and guilt and resentment and anger away. And then that's when we started writing this book. And so there's 2.5 years of conversations between Kim and I, and basically cover the full gamut from A to Z. And, there's lots of, really great stuff in there that will help you sort of self-reflect on your own life and, start that healing path or that healing journey that, so many people have asked, what's the next step? What do I do now? And, so Conversation with a Rattlesnake is, the next step.
And it's something that maybe you could comment, because it's not that it's anything really more so related to what you've experienced, but I know today, if you followed the Jian Ghomeshi story,
absolutely.
Well, news today, he's been charged with 5 counts of sexual assault. And I was wondering, being somebody who's had I guess somewhat related experience, especially with the media being all over it and every detail, if you could comment on that at all.
Well, I look at that particular situation from sort of a spiritual and universe perspective. I think it's once again, the universe hitting us over the head with a sledgehammer, basically saying, okay, there's a reason why this is the biggest epidemic on the planet. Whether you want to believe it or not, it is. I've seen it with my own eyes. I've read it with my own eyes. I get probably 4 or 5 reveals every day, all day long. And wow. In order for the cycle of trauma to stop, we got to start talking about this, and we got to start having more conversations about it, because so many of us, and I would say the majority of us, suffer in silence for a long time. And, we need to give people the opportunity to find their voice and to be able to talk about this stuff, because it's not uncommon, people. It is the most common thing that happens in the world, and we need to change our attitude as to how we support people and allow them to have the opportunity to heal.
Well, thank you so much for everything that you've done, especially, if anything, making it easier for people to talk about this.
Absolutely.
And we can see you tonight at McNally signing your new book. Theo Fleury, thank you so much for doing this.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.